Hi there, I'm Lisa Pearce and I'm a tech strategist and coach. I specialise in email marketing, websites, automation, and launches and course platforms. But today I want to show you how to set up your MailerLite account. MailerLite is a brilliant email marketing platform. It's great if you're starting out with email marketing and if you're starting out in business. I recommend it because it's free. First and foremost, it's free up to what your first 1,000 contacts. And you can also do quite a few bits of automation in there for free as well. After MailChimp decided to change their pricing structure just over a year ago, I looked for a new solution for clients. And this became my new favorite tool, shall we say, because of those reasons, basically, because it's free and it's actually simple, really simple to use as well, a lot more simple than MailChimp was. So I'm going to get started. Basically, what I'm going to do is share my screen now, and what we're going to cover today is how to set your account up. If this is a new account for you, then I'll show you the steps you have to take to set your account up, to configure your account, connect it to your website if you have one. We will set up a form and a landing page, and I'm also going to show you how to set up a template so you can send email campaigns out, and we'll also set up an automation. So I'm just going to share my screen with you. Now, in the email, the confirmation email from where you signed up to this masterclass, you should have a link to sign up to MailerLite. If you haven't already got an account, then you'll need to follow that link, and you will come to this page and it will basically show you how to sign up. So all you have to do is obviously put your company or organization name in, your email address and password, and then create your account. From there, you will get a confirmation email. I think you have to click on a link just to confirm that that email address belongs to you. And then you will log into your account. So this will be the login screen when you come into MailerLite, and this is probably what your account will look like when you first get in there, because I haven't done anything with this account yet. So obviously we've completed the registration. You need to move on to complete your profile, and you'll see it's nice and easy and straightforward to follow. So you just need to pop in your details. Probably you will need to put in a postal address just because we have to. It has to go on the footer of the emails. You don't have to have your full address, so you can leave out the house name, house number. Just find the right time zone. So I'm just going to take my address off there. Obviously, say what industry you're in. Obviously, marketing and advertising. How many people? It's just little old me. When was the last time you sent a campaign or newsletter? So obviously, if you're just starting out, then you might want to say, I haven't sent any yet. Obviously, I send emails out quite regularly, so mine's less than 2 months. How many subscribers do you have? You'll probably, if this is a new account, be less than 1,000. How do you collect subscribers? So this is really important. They need to know how you're going to collect them. So you'll probably have an opt-in via an online form. If you're an offline business, then you might also do it offline as well. So permission-based via social media or webinars. So you put that in there if you maybe were doing a new webinar. So e-commerce, if you've got an e-commerce website, then people might opt in while they're buying something from you. If you've purchased a list without consent, you don't really want to be doing that. So I would leave that unticked because no one wants to be buying lists these days, and you definitely don't want to be doing it if you've not got consent from people. Of course, if you haven't done any of this, then you can tick, I have yet to start collecting subscribers. What content do you plan to send your subscribers? So in here, you just want to write tips and information. Have you used other email marketing services before? Obviously, If you've used them, just select them. Obviously, I've used MailChimp. I'm actually on ActiveCampaign. But I love MailerLite for when you're starting out. So have you ever used other website builders before? So obviously, I'm not sure why they ask this question, but just select whatever's relevant for you. Have actually used Shopify before. I think they're just trying to gather some information from you at this point. How did you find out about MailerLite? Obviously select whatever you want on there. Anti-spam policies, obviously you just want to make sure that you're not going to go out and spam anyone with your account, so just read and tick. And then if you want to sign in for their newsletter, and then you select here. This is quite cool actually, because it will give you best practices and any new features that come along. So you might want to sign up to that. I'm just saving it. So that was my profile. Now you need to request approval. So you just have to press this button here. And then you've got to verify your website. So you need to put your website in here. And then move on to the next screen. Obviously, actually, I'm just going to go back, because if you don't have a website, you just select I don't have a website, and then you can put a social media URL there and tell them a bit more about your business. Obviously, I've got a website, so I'm just going to go to that. Now you've got to verify your website ownership. So I've got an email address attached to my website. You can change the domain if you've got a different domain. And obviously, if you're doing it through a social media page, then you'll probably have to put in a different email address there. Just follow the steps, basically. They will tell you what to do and what you need to do. So they've sent me a confirmation. So once I get that, I need to click on a link, and obviously they'll approve my account. While we're waiting for that to come through, I'm just going to go through the account basically bit by bit and show you what you can do in your MailerLite account. So this is the dashboard. Obviously, when your account's approved and you start sending out campaigns, this is where you'll log into, and it will give you all the different information and stats and things like that that you would expect to get on an email marketing platform. It will tell you, like, it'll give you the rundown of the last campaigns and who's opened and clicked them. I'm going to go into campaigns and create your first email. So we're going to design a template, just a really simple template. I'm going to show you how easy it is to set up a template in MailerLite. So I'm just going to write test subject here, who it's from. So I've dropped the online part of my business, so I'm going to remove that. Obviously going to put my email address in. It needs to be verified. I'm just going to check that email's come through. It's not come through yet. Oh, that might be it now. Let's have a look. Yeah, so that's my confirmation. So I'm just going to confirm. And so my account is now approved. So I should, if I refresh this page, be able to have that email address. Yeah. Okay, so we're just going to do a test, because this will be a test template that we will use for our campaigns. So we have the subject line, so I'm just going to put test template here. If you are actually creating a campaign, you'd put your subject line in here. You can also insert emojis and personalization, so you might want to put the first name into the subject line as well. Make sure, obviously, you've got the name you want to be displayed. So this will be the name that comes through when the email gets delivered. So obviously you want it to be something that they're going to recognize. And then your email address as well. Obviously the language, I'm guessing most of you will be speaking English, so it's already pre-selected anyway. So next we're going to move on to the content. Now MailerLite has a drag and drop editor. So it makes it really easy and simple to design an email. So we're going to choose that. and they obviously already pre-populate this anyway, so you can just switch out these sections with your logos and things like that. So I'm just going to change that, upload an image. And now I've got my logos in here somewhere. Okay. That's my old logo. You never find things when you need them. I should have prepared this earlier. Let's see. You're going to see the state of my downloads folder. I know I have a logo in here. It's not that long ago that I used it. There we go. So you select it and it just replaces that logo there. We can probably make that a bit bigger actually. You just drag it out. There we go. And then all of these sections, you literally just click on them and then you can change the settings, change the text in here, and you can add links in here. The settings here, so you can change obviously the background color if you need to. You can change the heading font and color as well. Obviously they don't have all of the font options, but I would go for the closest one that you use in your brand. I think Poppins is probably going to be the closest one for me. The fonts I use, or the Roboto. Yeah, let's do that one. So you just go into each section obviously and just make sure you're changing this. Remember, this is your template, so you only have to do this once. If you want to change it to your brand colors, you can do that here as well. I haven't got my hex codes to hand, but you just need to get the hex color code and you can pop it into there. And you can mess about with the font size as well. So if you want it a bit bigger or smaller, you can do that here. And then you can apply this to any newly added blocks. So just select that and it will change everything. So you only really have to do it once. I think it's done it there. I'm not sure it's done it in this block actually. Yeah, here, look. So you just go in and change it. Yeah. And here. So I'm going to change the button as well. So this is where you can come in and change the call to action, the button and the link. And then we want to change background. So that's that background. You want the button color, the button setting. So it's a bit hidden. You have to kind of hover over these things and click on them. But you can change the alignment of the button. So if you wanted it over to the left, you can do that. In the center, I quite like it in the center. You can change the style of the button. So it's got a bit of a shadow on it. And that's got a border around it. Or you can just have the solid design. And then you can change your color here as well. So again, you can change your code, your hex code here, or you can use one of the colors they already have pre-built. So let's go for purple. That's one of my colors. And then again, if you want to apply it for everything else in the template, you can do that for any of the new. So if you brought in a new section, it would make sure that it's purple. So I'm going to get rid of this survey block actually here, and I'm just going to show you what else we can add here. So all these are all the available blocks. Obviously logo, we've already got the logo in there. You can actually add in a navigation bar, so it could look like a mini website in your email. So you've got links to different areas of your website. You could do that there. Obviously, we've got the content. This is similar content block to this one. You can add titles, you can drag subtitles in, just text blocks on their own. If you wanted to add a new text block underneath there, you can just pull that in. We also have links, images, if you want other images, videos. You could pull in a section like this where you've got news articles. And interestingly, it hasn't brought that colour over. So we can just go and change that again in here. I am doing this on the fly, so I don't have my hex colours to hand. So just save that once you're done. Once you've saved an area, the blocks will come back here on the left. So yeah, like I say, you just have a play around with it, how you want your template to look really. If you're doing more of a newsletter type, then you might want these blocks like this. If you wanted more just plain text, then you might even want to take this image out and just have blocks of text to say what you want to say with the call to action at the end. You can pull in RSS feeds if you've got an RSS feed. There's features here, so maybe if you're writing a sales email, you want to pull the features in. We've got galleries, maybe you're an image-based business and you want to pull in some images into an email. And then you've got buttons here as well. So yeah, so the button blocks do come in the purple, or the single button blocks do. It's a bit of a design fault, isn't it? There you go. Anyway, once you've changed everything on this template, you don't have to do it again. This is the template you're going to use for all of your campaigns. You can even link products. So if you've got an e-commerce website, you can link your website to Mailerlite and it will pull in products from your website as well. Yeah, and the dividers, you've got social blocks, countdowns, you've got your signature as well. Obviously we've got this here, they've already put this one in for you, but you could put a different one in there if you wanted something different. So that's actually got signature there, so you could pull in an image of your, oh, you can actually draw it. Sorry, this is new for me because I haven't seen this feature before. That is really badly written, but you get the gist. So it pulls your signature in there, so you might want to actually just write your name. I'm not sure about that actually. It doesn't look nice. It's not looking pretty. So I think I'm going to leave that and just have this signature block in here. So your social links, obviously you'll want to link all of those up, and you can change your signature here. Obviously it has to pull in your address in there for legal reasons. Social links, so this is where you would add in your Facebook page, your Twitter account, your Instagram link. Make sure it's the link to your Instagram account and not your Instagram handle, because that won't link. So I'll just show you as an example. This is my Instagram. You would put the actual link in there and not the @IamLisaPierce, because that's just not going to link. Obviously, you have to have the unsubscribe link there as well, legally. You will have that Mailerlite logo there. That will go away once you start paying for your account, but on the free account, it will be visible. But I think that's okay. I'm going to add an image in as well. I'm just showing you basically how easy it is to add things to the template. It is literally drag and drop, and then you just come in, you select the box, and you come in and edit. So you can grab another image, and I'll just pop it in there. You can even link it if you need to. Text, you just again click on it, and you can come and edit it here on the right. Same with buttons. You just edit the text of the button. So, and then pop a link in there. So I'm just going to put my website there. So that is how to set up a template and a campaign. Essentially, this is the process you would go through with setting up a campaign. Although when you set up a campaign after this template set up, I will show you that as well, because you would just select the template. You don't need to do anything else other than tweak. So we're not obviously going to send this out, but if you were to send it out, then you'd select your subscribers. So you can select all subscribers if you wanted to go out to everyone, or you can have groups. So you might decide to segment your audience and have different groups for different things. And you can just select that here. If you select all, it will select all the groups that are in your account. So review and confirm. And at this stage, you can just make sure that everything is correct. Obviously, your subject line, if that needs to change, you can just go to edit and you can change it in there. Content, I would always send yourself a test email to make sure it looks okay in your inbox, and to check for spelling mistakes, check your links to make sure all the links are correct, check that the images are coming through okay. Once you're happy with that test email, then you can move forward. You can also preview it as well, and it will preview that in a window, but I would always have it sent to yourself as well, so you can just double check, and you can check what it looks like in mobile as well. Most of the Mailerlite templates will render well for mobile, so you don't really need to worry too much, but it's always good to test them. Then so next you just go ahead and schedule the email. So you can either send it now, so if you're ready to send it and you're happy with the time of day you're sending it, you can just send now and hit send. Or if you want to send it later, then you just select send later, or the date you want to send it, obviously the time zone. You can, in the Paint account, deliver based on time zones. So if you have people in multiple time zones, you can do that, but obviously that's a paid feature, so I'm not going to go into too much detail. If you use Google Analytics and you want to track the campaign, then you just select that box there and it will track the links from the clicks from this campaign to your website. So you go ahead and schedule, and it's scheduled and ready to go. Now I'm going to cancel that, obviously. It's only me that it's going to go out to anyway. And if you do need to do that, you can, and you can also save it as a draft. So it's in your drafts folder. Because this is our template, that's where it's going to live. Then when you want to create a campaign from that template, you just select create campaign again, give it the subject line, and make sure all of this is correct. Move on to the content tab, and then you just go into, I've missed out a step, just hold on a second. So in here, we need to, in the actions, you could save as a template. So give it a name. So you know that is your newsletter template. So I'm going to go back to that new campaign. I'm going to edit content, and we're going to look my templates. Your templates will show there, so you can select the template, and you can do that every time. Once you start sending campaigns out, you might just want to duplicate old campaigns, which you can do as well. But that template will always be saved now as your newsletter, so you can just use that. So that's how you set up a template and a campaign in Mailerlite. The subscriber tab. So this is where all your subscribers and your list will live. You can add subscribers by selecting this button here. And what you can do is you can, if you've already got a list of subscribers, you can import them as a CSV file. So you download it from wherever your list lives now as a CSV file, and then you upload it into Mailerlite and just follow the steps. It will ask you to probably map the different fields with their fields, but it's quite self-explanatory. Or you can copy and paste from Excel, so you'll just need the email address, first name and last name for this. Or you can add single subscribers, so if you just got a few, like 1 or 2, you can just add them in here, and you can create a new group from there as well. Or if you have a MailChimp account and you're wanting to move away from MailChimp into MailerLite because of the functionality, because MailerLite's a lot easier to use, then you just select import from MailChimp, and it will connect you. You'll go through the steps, it will connect you to your MailChimp account, and then it will pull through the subscribers. I actually have a blog post on how to do this as well, so you'll go check that out, and it will show you how to do it. It's really straightforward. I'm just going to show you quickly how to add a single subscriber. So I'm just going to use my personal email address, name, and then you can add them to a group. So if you've got other groups set up, you can. I think this is the main group that I'll be emailing newsletters to, but you can have different groups with different subscriber types. And maybe you serve product businesses and service businesses and you want to keep them separate. You can do that as well. I'll show you how to set that up in just a second. So that subscriber's added successfully. I'm just going to go back to the subscriber tab. So once they're added, obviously the list will populate here and all your subscribers will live there. In Mailerlite, we've moved away from segments really, and it's all about groups. Groups and segments are pretty much the same thing, but I think groups are a lot easier to manage. So I'm going to go ahead and create businesses just because I've used this example. And so you might, for example, have 2 different lead magnets. One lead magnet would serve a product business and the other would serve a service business. So when you set up that lead magnet, you'll want them to then go into these groups. And I'll show you how to do that in just a second, but I just want to show you this is how you set up your groups. I also want to show you how to add subscribers to a group. So I'm just going into the recently added subscriber, and then you can just come down here and add to a group. So I'm going to say she's in a product business. And I think that just automatically saves it. There's nowhere to save, so I'm hoping so. I'm just going to go back in and double check. Yep, it's there, so that's saved. So that's your subscribers and groups. Fields, this is just the fields that you would use on a form basically, and you only really want to collect their email and name and keep it simple on an opt-in form. Stats, obviously we haven't got any stats yet, but as you start sending out and getting people on your list, you'll get average stats for open rate, click rate, subscriber rate and unsubscribe rate. And you can also come in here and clean up anyone that's inactive. So people that maybe haven't opened an email for 6 months, I would maybe email them a re-engagement campaign first, just to double check they're not going to engage. And if they don't, then just drop them off the list. So that's your subscribers. Now in forms, I'm just going to show you how to set up an embedded form. You can do pop-ups and things like this. I'm just going to show you a simple form today. And this is a form you can embed on your website. So just maybe call it product is lead magnet. This is just for internal use, that you know what it is. You don't need to worry about anyone seeing it. Then you want to connect that form to a group, and because I said that was for product businesses, for a lead magnet for product business, I'm just going to select product businesses, then hit save and continue. And it looks quite basic here, but you can, obviously we can change it and make it look a bit better. Obviously, if you're embedding it on your website as well, you probably don't want it to look too fussy, and you'd actually want to strip out the background colors just so that you can put it on whatever background you want on your website. So that is exactly what I'm going to do. Although if you did want to give it a background color, there is that option in here as well. And you can also add an image if you want to, but I'm just going to keep it plain. We can change the font. I'm just going to keep it on brand. And then you might even want to delete that bit if you're embedding it on a website and you have text you want to go above it. You might want to keep it on your website. But if you need to change the heading and the text, you can do that here and here. You'll also want to give it more of a compelling call to action than subscribe. So say it's a download, maybe you want to put download now. And save. And then you can also change the color of the button. So background, let's go back for that purple. You will also need, obviously, if you're in Europe, we'll need the confirmation checkbox to make sure, obviously, they're actively opting in to receive the emails. And you'll also need that statement as well for the privacy statement. You can change the wording to this here as well. You just hover over, select the pencil, and you can change the wording to that. So that is how to basically set up a basic embed form. Obviously, you can go in and tinker around with the settings yourself, what you require to be on the form. And then the next stage, obviously, if you have to select double opt-in, obviously, some people will say it's best practice to have double opt-in switched on, just making sure that you're not having any spam emails on there or anything. I personally see it as a barrier sometimes because it means they have to do an extra step before they get your emails. And I think until it's a legal requirement to have double opt-in, I just switch it off. You don't need it there yet. And then you've got the share URL here, so you can copy it. And if you don't have a website, then obviously you can make this look a lot prettier and have an image on there, maybe put some more copy on there, and you can turn that into a landing page and just share on your social media. Obviously, I was looking at it from the point of being like embedding it onto a website. So if you were to embed it on a website, then you would just copy and paste. You need to copy and paste this snippet first, and that needs to go into the head tag of your website. Obviously, if this is getting a bit too techie for you, then give me a shout, and it's something I can quote for doing, and it wouldn't take me too long to do, so it wouldn't be that expensive. But I'd rather you engaged an expert in doing this bit instead of worrying about it and getting it wrong because you don't want to break your website. But if you have a WordPress website, there is a MailerLite plugin that you can download, and it will all connect all of this, and the snippet will just be added automatically. So that's another option for you if you have a WordPress website. And then you've got HTML code as well. Obviously, I don't want to scare you with all of this techie stuff. So obviously just get in touch if it's getting a bit too over your head, or download the MailerLite plugin for WordPress if you have a WordPress website. So that's set up, and now you'll want to send an email out on the back of that form. So you can, from this form, set up your first automation. So you would create a workflow. And then it starts to work. So when people subscribe to that form, then you need to do an action. So they subscribe, then you want to send them an email. And then obviously subject, add your subject in here. You say who it's coming from, save that, just to make sure it's saved, and then you come back in and you'll want to design the email, obviously. So you select design email, and then you need to select your template. So obviously we've got this template already pre-built, so you just select that. And this is exactly the same as creating a campaign, this part, so I won't go into too much detail. You just come in here, change the elements that you need to change. Done editing. I'm quite slow. And then when you're happy with that, obviously do a test as well. Then you just need to switch it on. And it's on. If you need to add any more emails as well, so maybe you're doing a sequence from this, then you can just select this plus icon here, add a delay. So you don't want all the emails to go out at the same time. You'd set the delay. And I would do 1 day in between emails for at least the first 4 or 5 emails anyway in the sequence. And then you'd add another email. And you just do go through exactly the same process, add the subject line, design the email, save it. And then if you need to add another one, do the same again until you get to the end of your sequence. And then at the end of the sequence, you might want to define another action. So you might want to move them to the main subscriber group, or copy them to the main subscriber group, or move them onto a different automation. So you can do that in here as well. I'm just going to select, move, copy, even. So we probably want to keep them in the product group, but we might want to move them to the main group as well. So once you're happy with that, obviously I've got 2 incomplete sets, so I haven't done these emails. I'm just going to delete them for now. I need to pin that. Okay, so that should work now. It's on. And that is how you set up your first automation from the form that you set up for your lead magnet. And that is pretty much it. So we've gone through the campaigns. I've shown you how to set up a template and a campaign. I've talked about subscribers and how to add subscribers to your list. We've set up a form that you can use as a landing page or embed on your website. And we've gone through our first automation. Only other thing I just want to show you quickly is Mailerlite have recently added this. So it's where you can create like a website even with Mailerlite now. I can't say what it's like. I've never used the website function in there before, but it's worth maybe having a go and playing around with it if you don't have a website yet. And you can also create pretty looking landing pages as well, where you can post your sign up forms too. So yeah, so it's worth having a play around with that. I'm not going to go into detail with showing you that, because I'm sure that the functionality is going to be very similar to the email functionality, where it's drag and drop blocks. It'll be really easy, straightforward to edit things as well. I've covered most things in this training, but if there is any questions at all, do feel free to reach out to me. My email address is lisa@lisapierce.co.uk, and you can find me on Facebook and Instagram as well. And I do have a free Facebook group, Online Tech Help for Female Entrepreneurs. So just come and give me a shout if you get stuck with any of this. Just one other area to point out is this, your profile area, your account settings. So you just come in here and just make sure that everything's as it should be, really. This is what you filled in when you first joined. This is your main account setting, so you can come in and change this at any time. If you need to update your organization name and things like that. You've got default settings here as well, so you can come in and change those if you need to, so you're not having to change it on every single email. You can also set your default logo in here. You can even add your social link so that every time you add a social block, it will pull in your social links in here. Domains, so you can, obviously we've connected my domain already. If you needed to go and do that at a later date, so you don't have a website at the moment, then this is where you can come in and do that. And you can also connect your Google Analytics. So, or just put the tracking code in here of what you're using in Google Analytics. Just a quick overview of your account area as well. Integrations, I'll just quickly mention actually, because like I said, you can integrate Mailerlite with e-commerce websites. You can integrate it with Facebook, Instagram, all these other apps here as well if you needed to. But yeah, I think the one that would probably be the most useful is if you have a WordPress website, you can get the plugin for that, and all the forms and everything connect automatically through there. So yeah, I hope you found this useful. Like I said, give me a shout if you have any questions. Bye.